ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Victor Dmitrich Huliganov with Rant for May. May nearly over being, but nevertheless it's still time to get ranting on time and not afterwards like I've been in the past. As you know, these rantings will in the future, this series of monthly rantings will become a podcast later on, which you'll be able to subscribe to on Podbean or iTunes or wherever I manage to get myself registered. It won't be paid or anything like that, don't worry, unless you want to give donation for charity, in which case you're always welcome to do it, but no need for this if you don't want to. So, what I want to talk about today, I'm putting this up as 500th video on my channel, and some of you from year-end message what I gave will know that this was my limit for the year. It wasn't my limit for the year, it was a target. I wanted to get to at least 500 videos. What I didn't realize was it wouldn't take me a year to do it, but only to take 5 months to get to that target. So I have to revise the target, and I suppose that by end of year will be another at least 100 videos. That's my revised target. I'm still hoping to reach target of million channel views, what you can't see from the public view, but I can tell you this is about 740,000 today, and was 470,000 at the beginning of the year. So it's like similar figure, but with the 7 and the 4 the other way around, what they call czeski błąd in Polish. So all of those, by the way, those numbers are divisible by 9. That's a little accountancy trick, what I can tell you in passing. Anyway, I wanted to say that more lessons will be coming up. I'm devising a system for teaching prepositions, which will, for those of you following the Russian lessons, will be helpful, because I didn't really see such very good method of really mapping prepositions. And prepositions in Slavonic languages are very interesting things. Even from a point of view, philosophical point of view, they are almost the markers of language, the mathematical markers of language. And more about this in the Russian lessons. I'm just giving you a taster of what's coming up in that stream. In the stream of travelogues, I've got a lot more stuff to do. I got Madrid. I only put up so far 2 of the Madrid. There will be about 10 of them. Some beautiful flamenco dancing coming up, which I hope you will enjoy. There will be some visit to Venice coming up, and then whatever travel I got around the corner. Usually I find out where I'm going very shortly before I actually have to go. But I wouldn't think it's many weeks before I'm off again somewhere. Even so, at the moment I don't have anything on my diary. Sure, but yeah, okay. Somebody came for my stamper. I'm glad they didn't say plonker. In the UK we used to call them plonkers, but it's a little bit, well, iffy, that expression, because it means something else. If you don't know what it means, I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, yes, back to topic. So, about the channel streams, third stream in the channel here is of course now the stuff which I'm taking from playradiouk.com and transferring it from 2 cameras, from 2 live streaming cameras into a single film, and putting it up with the permission of playradiouk.com. And I'm hoping to continue catch up with all the historical ones, the ones not done by the other channel which did it before. I don't want to duplicate their work, and you'll find the link in the earliest ones to the ones that were before. The earliest ones that I do soon will be playlist where I'm putting them all in order. So if you want to simply listen to Play Radio on my channel, you can do this by the playlist. But for those of you who are open to watching other things of mine other than the Play Radio, I'm very happy about that. And for those of you who don't yet try the Play Radio, you can try it if you got a kind of, well, strong stomach, if you like, because it's very much a quite a broad-minded set of people who are involved in it, so the language sometimes, and also not only the language but also the ideas being transferred in the streams are quite, they are not for children's, so be careful a little bit if you go into the stream, but hopefully this is not going to offend anybody of my regular listenership. If you don't like it, then simply stay away from those particular positions if you like. But if you are interested in this, and you don't mind a little bit of what is sometimes called purple language, then by all means enjoy this. You will see a lot of creativity by people, community of people bringing into the radio, and of course you're very welcome to join this community, take part in it, and also ring to the radio, Skype in free of charge, and to take part in what is going on in the Play Radio streams here as well. What I wanted to talk about in this particular rant is perfectionism, because perfectionism is a difficult thing. Recently I had a conversation with somebody whose films appeared here, and this person was not happy because they said, oh, I could have done better if I practice more, if I have better camera, if I have better post-production, if I have better this, if I have better that. So, at the end of the day, sometimes people say the same to me on my comments here, either what I'm doing or what the other characters on this channel are doing. People ring and say, oh, you should have practiced this more, or you make mistake here, or you do this Russian word wrong, or you make a spelling mistake in the video of the Russian language. That's what the comment sections are for, to put this right. I'm not going to re-record the videos. I don't claim perfection. You're not paying for it. You will not pay for it even if I make it perfect. So you will not give me more than 5 stars, what you already kindly giving me, if it is perfect. So, and if I have to make it perfect, instead of making 200, 300 film a year, probably there will be 1 film a year. Cost me lots of money. I won't be able to afford to do it because it will be perfection, and no matter how good it is, I will always come back and say, oh, could have done this better, could have done that better. So YouTube is not for perfectionists, really. It's not really a place where people who are too perfectionistic are going to be comfortable. You've got to be able to get in front of a camera and talk, knowing that you're talking potentially to millions of people. In fact, in my case, I haven't had millions of people, but I've had thousands on some, tens of thousands on some. And just got to get there, put your face in front of the camera, say what you think, what you really think, and get it out there. And if it's a problem, if it's a mistake, if it's something you could have said better, it's too bad. You get a shot, you've got a single take. Why are you going to spend all your life trying to get this thing done perfectly? It's a stupid thing. Now, I want to tell you this is about perfectionists. There are 2 kinds of perfectionists. One kind of perfectionist is looking all the time what is wrong with the other people's work, but they never do any of their own. And the reason is because after they've done so much criticisms of other people, they are really frightened to produce any of their own. And this is why you sometimes will see that people, I'm not even talking about the trolls, who deliberately go on and try to stir up upsetting people in the comment sections, okay? Because sometimes the trollish people, they got very thick skins anyway, they know what they are doing, they're just going in and trying to put a kind of stick in the hornet's nest. They don't mind if they get stung a little bit themselves, and of course they've got their own videos up, and even if people come to them and start to give them a hard time, they don't really mind. It goes off them like water off the proverbial duck's back. I'm not talking about those. These are the trolls, if you like. Some people are calling them the haters. In YouTube, trolls is more a Usenet word for it, or a bulletin board language word for what in the YouTube is tend to be called the haters. These people are okay. if you know what they're doing, you just simply sit back and you laugh at them. What is sometimes more upsetting comments is where people come in and say, well, look, you didn't do this right, or you could have practiced a bit more, or this should have been a high C and you went down to this middle C or whatever. And little niggling comments on how you could have done it a little bit better. I say to you this: go immediately to where this person's homepage is. Okay? If they've got their own videos up, then okay, maybe pay some attention to what they're saying, these perfectionists, because maybe they're really trying to help you. But if they are not showing any of their own videos, but they're telling you how to do yours, well, it means probably they're the kind of perfectionists which they want to everything around them to be fantastic. They can see the perfection in somebody else, but when it comes to their own stuff, they never even produce anything. They're so perfectionist, they themselves can't finish anything. And if they infect you with the kind of perfectionism that they have, you won't finish anything either. That's the end of your YouTube channel. Probably you will go and take films down again afterwards. Once people get infected with this kind of perfectionism, they get upset with their own work, and then down comes the films, yes? And then later on they're doing what Renato did and ringing up YouTube and saying, please put my film back again, please put it all back. And then up they go in the case of Renato. But perhaps in the case of somebody less celebrated than Renato, YouTube might say, well, you knew what you were doing, putting your films down, and in fact what we did was we just simply dumped them. How do you know that YouTube will have your films there? Renato is one case and most of us are another. So, there we have the effect of perfectionism. It leads to not being able to produce anything. Do you suppose if farmers were perfectionists, don't you think we would all be a little bit hungry? You can go to the shop and say, oh, I don't like this apple, look, a little hole is in there, maybe a worm was in there, or oh, this one's got a scar on it, or this one's not rusting very nicely, or oh, look, this and these peaches have got slight bruises on, or I don't like the shape of that carrot. Can you imagine if the farmers who produce this food have this attitude, what some people have? And I know somebody like this, I won't say who it was, but she would go around the shops, okay, and look for all the flaws, and which you really look at everything. And going to the supermarket with this person was an absolute pain in the backside, because you could have gone around the supermarket and this person was still in the fruit and vegetables section, looking at the fruits and vegetables, trying to look for the imperfections there. They're natural, they're part of the signature of God on these fruits, that there are slight things different about them, slight mutations and things like that. This person, was looking at them like they were little blasphemies, and not wanting to eat a tomato if it have a scar on it or something like that. Well, sorry, if you wanted to infect the farmers of this planet with that kind of perfectionism, that they can only produce and send out fruit and vegetables which is perfect, I'm sorry, but human race will starve to death in the course of a single season, because we can't do it. So if you want to produce, you produce with imperfections, and you take a tolerant view of other people's perfections, knowing what kind of work they have to put in even to produce something which is flawed, okay, and things are intrinsically flawed, and you produce yourself, knowing that other people will afford you the same toleration of imperfections, okay? It's not that you don't try to give value, you do. I'm harking back to the last time I spoke to, but you have to understand that things are not going to be perfect. Things are never perfect, not in this world. There's another one coming, where perfection is achievable and intrinsic, but that is not the one we're in right now, okay? This world is intrinsically flawed, okay? We can repent, we can have an attitude of repentance, but we cannot be perfectionists, we cannot be production Pharisees. So, what happens with the kind of people who are perfectionists about other people and also perfectionists about themselves? They produce nothing. You've got people who are perfectionists about other people, but somehow miss out on all the flaws in their own work. Well, we know all about them because Jesus taught us all about them. The people who look and see the splinter in somebody else's eyes, but can't see they got half a tree poking out their own eye. Okay? This is a simple hypocrisy. Okay? So, either if you're very perfectionist about other people's work, either you produce nothing yourself, or what you produce, which also is going to be flawed in the end, okay, could probably be worse flawed than what the people produce what you're criticizing. And you've got this beam in your eye and you want to take the mote of the other people's eyes, like it says on Sermon on the Mount. So be careful. First take out see if you can take out the splinters from your own eyes, then you will see more clearly to take out the splinters from somebody else's eyes, like the Lord said. But if in fact most people who are perfectionists these days are more perfectionist about themselves, and these are the people which I am trying to address right now.
Excuse me, account manager, this is, what does it mean in Polish? Przedstawiciel handlowy?
Yes, that could be the translation of it, yes. Okay. People don't really consider that I might be talking live onto the phone, so you see I'm going to let it go because it's an imperfection and I'm talking about letting imperfections go. So the fact that somebody walk in and ask me what is przedstawiciel handlowy doesn't really matter, okay? It's too bad. I'm not going to start again like some people would. So, neither am I going to spend half an hour with the video editing software. So, I'm getting onto the case of people now who are perfectionist about their own work, okay, but they will never notice such imperfections in anybody else's work. This is called self-criticism. It's making it difficult for them to put anything up, even though they would never notice these imperfections if they were looking at somebody else's work. Why can't you people, who are in this case, consider that most other people are the same as you? They don't see the perfections in your work. They are more concerned about the imperfections in what could be their own work. And that's what actually most people are like in this day and age. They are actually quite tolerant of what other people do wrong, or the shortcomings of other people's videos. They are much more worried about what their videos will look like. And we would all have a lot more fun on here if the producers of video lighten up and know that they will never be, this is not Hollywood, okay? Nobody is going to give you more than 5 stars. Nobody is going to give you a bunch of money. Very few of us are going to get a recognition outside of a small group of people. If you can get a few thousand subscribers, you can be really consider that this is relatively large for what we are doing here on YouTube. So, basically, why worry? Why worry? Much better to simply get on, have fun, sharing knowledge, opinions with other people, having a good laugh, giving a good laugh to other people, and being part of the community. It's all fun, it's all good, it's all enjoyable. So, that's my point. That's my rant for May, and may it do you some good. Thank you very much indeed for listening and looking forward to seeing you in the future. Bye bye.